Hi, I'm Laura Lee Waldorf. I'm a myotherapist. That's M-Y-O, muscle, and then therapist, which means to heal the muscle. And this is part two of I did an introductory of myotherapy for proactivehealth101.com. And now I'm going to show you a little bit about what myotherapy is and what it's about. The history of myotherapy: Bonnie Pruden was a woman that was a very athletic woman. She had peaks over out east in the Klondike's mountains, named after her because she was such an athlete. But then she had an accident and she shattered her pelvis skiing. So she had to rebuild herself. She was told she'd never have kids or never walk, and she didn't buy into that. So she ended up dealing with her pain and her recovery, working with trigger points. She knew a physician that injected trigger points and then would send out the patient, and the patient would come back a week or two later, or however it worked. Well, she needed so much work that she decided to work with the physician and X the patients out and then send them into the physician to have them injected. Well, one day this lady yelled out, "Ah!" And then she straightened out her neck and she goes, "Oh, thanks a lot. I'll see you next week or in a couple weeks." And Bonnie went, that's interesting, because all I did was press on it to find that trigger point, but that seemed to do the trick. So maybe we don't have to inject it with procaine or saline or actually be so invasive on the body. She also was an exercise therapist, and she wrote over 20 books. So she was on the Dave Garroway show, if you're old enough to know that. She did exercises there, and she did really well until they wanted to advertise diet pills, like speed basically, right after her segment, and she said, "Take that off," and they said no, and she said, "I'm not going to co-sign with that. It makes me look like I'm promoting that, putting it right after my segment." So she didn't do that show anymore. So she has a lot of high integrity. Also, I understood that she was offered by Coca-Cola to promote their product, and she said, "No, thank you." And they offered her a lot of money, and she could have really used it because she never really did be motivated by money, but she was motivated about helping people help themselves, which speeded up a little bit when she was 62 years old, putting her exercises together, the passive stretches, and myotherapy, the trigger point work together. She created the myotherapy. And she packed her bags and she went out and she spread the word because it helped her so much. She ended up recovering totally. She had 2 children. She's not only walking, but she's very athletic. But now she's not with us anymore because she got older. And when you get older, you get off the planet. So I think she was like 91 or something like that when she died. But her last words, from what I remember, is that when you are injured, make sure you're fully recovered before you expect that body part to perform. Because otherwise, when you get older, you end up paying the price and you end up aching in the places that you used to play. So to avoid that, really get that full recovery before you go ahead and start doing your athletic or whatever you're doing, occupational wise or whatever. Anyway, that's a little bit of a side note. So that's the history of myotherapy. Now in Tucson, Arizona, Bonnie Pruden's partner has carried it on, and she has the Institute for Myotherapy in Tucson. And they're offering classes in September and throughout the year where you can be certified as a myotherapy technician. Or if you want to go further like me, you can become a master myotherapist. So in future videos, I'm going to break this down a little bit more, but I just wanted to let you know what the history of myotherapy was. So let's still keep on making history and love life, and life will love you back, and we will see you in the next video. Bye-bye for now.